You make your Colorado community vibrant. Your support of nonprofits, schools, and organizations is what makes our state so great. At Alpine Bank, we want to help you help them. I'm Glenn Jameron, president of Alpine Bank. When you use your loyalty debit card, Alpine Bank donates a dime to community causes. Whether it's the arts, education, environment, or another passion of yours, that small change makes a big difference. You use, we donate, they benefit. It's an easy and powerful way for you to give back. You choose a debit card that speaks to your interests. You can help Colorado communities shine even brighter. Celebrate with us in 2023, our 50th year, our golden anniversary. With your help, Alpine Bank will give $2.5 million to Colorado nonprofits this year with funds from our loyalty debit card partnership. Together, we're golden.
The Mancus Opera House was built in 1910. It was, I think, a statement to the world that, Mancus is a place of culture and business.
I love the stories from the people who have been involved in this building and what it used to be and what it can be again.
It's been a home for arts, it's been a home for entertainment, it's been a home for school activities, and it's been a true home for people. In 2017, the building was placed on the open market, which terrified the town. We didn't know what would happen to it. Was it going to get turned into condominiums? Was it going to get torn down?
When the Opera House went up for sale from the VFW, there was kind of a mad behind-the-scenes scramble of, we have to save this space.
Linda says the fateful words of, let's just buy it and get it off the market and then we'll figure it out.
We got the call that said the angel donor has come in and has purchased the building, and that it was going to be taken care of and led forward by the people that love it the most.
This place was in bad shape, and for the first few weeks I didn't walk in here very often because I couldn't breathe. People
had not been inside this level of the building for decades. We did go ahead and start doing events. We were in that mode of everybody knew we'd bought the building and everybody's like, well, what are they going to do next? So we wanted to keep it operating. We replaced the roof. We mitigated asbestos downstairs. We replaced all the plumbing and fixtures. Everything we do is trying to make sure that it's sustainable for another century.
The leadership and resources and support of an organization like Colorado Preservation Inc. is just integral and critical to the fabric of our state, honestly. For a small town like Mancus to restore a building of this magnitude over multiple years back to the level that we would like to see it restored to is honestly almost impossible. So I think they're a critical partner at the table from a resourcing perspective.
The storefronts had been torn out and bricked up back in the 50s. The reconstructed storefronts, as close as we could make it, are the original design, colors, and materials.
Since we replaced the storefront, people don't just walk by. They walk by and they peek in. They sit on the bench in front.
One of the most satisfying things was having a member of the community who remembered the storefronts before they were torn out, looked at it and went, this is just how I remember it.
There's a lot of people who have been here before that come back and say, I used to be here back, when I was a kid, and I was always looking forward to coming back here. It's great. It's open.
My great-grandparents, Catherine and Charles, first acquired this property in the late 1800s. Both my father and my grandfather have been extremely active in preservation of the valley. We started at 13, and by 2015 we had a conservation easement on the majority of this property.
I still remember the town of Toland Most of the people that lived here were either in the mining or the lumber industry. They decided that there was a need to have a school. In 1916, my father was enrolled in school here that summer.
Really the best word to describe this particular building is that it's iconic.
It just always sat here, and we always wondered what was going to happen to it.
So bad things happened in here. You could find places on the floor where people came in and had a little fire. For a long time, the condition of this building has been on a steep downhill climb. We had to stop the slide.
How I read it was that was really a stepping stone for let's save the valley.
There would be times in the past when you'd stand in this building and the wind's blowing, you say, I have no idea why this building is still here.
We walked into basically a black floor. I can't even tell you how much effort went into just the floor alone. But when you look at it really closely, you'll always see the patina of where there was traffic.
Graffiti on the inside and holes busted in the fiberboard walls and broken windows. Let's change it from being an eyesore into being something pretty great, which it is.
We're working on a building that's 100+ years old. Every one of these rafters is absolutely perfect. Every one of them matches, every one of them is straight. And then to think that they were all milled in the valley, and every piece was put in with a hammer and a nail or cut with a hand saw. The side doors that you see on the rooms in the front of the building, those were the actual original front doors. At one point, the cupola, the bell tower, had been stolen. And so that was kind of the final piece when we went, okay, this place is where we want it to be. That was the final item to be added. So that's pretty cool that it's back on there.
This has been a big effort.
I was sitting here imagining what it must have been like for my father, here as a 6-year-old, going to school.
It means a lot to the locals, and so, you know, to put it back in its glory is like, it's super cool.
I can come here and see this place and say, yep, this makes me happy.
A lot of people think of Denver Botanic Gardens and they think of the plants, of course. That's the primary purpose for the institution. But they are framed, they are supported by an incredible legacy of architecture that we not only have preserved, but we've been inspired by with new construction.
They really set the stage for the improvement of gardens and the structure of the gardens through time, but also placeholders for significant projects like the Science Pyramid and eventually Frere Newman Center as the capstone to that master plan development.
The materiality of the Frere Newman Center is a reflection of all the history of the York Street site. The materials, the sandstone, the wood, the dark gray panels, the structures themselves, they're reminiscent of all the other work that has come before, which again I think is such a respectful way of looking at new architecture, is incorporating the story of older architecture.
Those details in the conservatory, those are things that really inspired the architecture of the Frere Newman Center through its skylights, through its windows towards the front porch, the front entryway, all those types of things that help tie the new and the old together.
You know, the Betcher Memorial Center has been the gathering place for indoor experiences at the gardens for a long time. The basement, though, I guess it's the garden level, it really needed a lot of help. We had our old labs in a former storage closet, and then we had classrooms that I always felt like when we sent people to a class down there, we had to leave a trail of breadcrumbs or something. So to have that refreshed into a kid zone, you did a brilliant job with that.
The thing that we uncovered as new participants here at the gardens was understanding the fantastic work that was happening in these research labs and the herbarium, and being able to take that space out of the garden level basement and put it front and center in the new building was one of the biggest wins of the entire project, in my opinion. We were able to uncover a lot of that, the original detail and original concrete work, which was just fabulous, that had been covered over through the years. And so really putting the right program in the right places in both the old sections of the project and the new sections of the project really unlocked a lot of opportunities.
Preservation work is so critical at Denver Botanic Gardens for so many reasons. That's one of the things that Dana Crawford has taught all of us, is the lesson of history informs the future. And if we forget our history, we're doomed to have a worse future. I'm certain of it. So it's an honor to be the stewards of great architecture as well as great plants.